Hey, Minimum Effort here, hope you're doing well. In this video I've got two decks for you that are united by the sole purpose of trying to annoy your enemy as much as possible. They're two very different decks, completely different cards to each other, but you can get some very interesting plays with these decks. The first deck we're going to look at features the newest card this week, which is Jocasta. Jocasta is a 3-cost, 3-power card with the ability of activate, immediately activate your other cards here without using up their activate abilities. With this card, it is important to note that if that card has already been activated, if you then activate Jocasta in that same lane afterwards, it can reactivate that card. The text doesn't immediately suggest that, but that's what it can do. So it's important to think of that when you're playing this card so that you can get those double activations. So the deck we are playing Jocasta in is a Darkhawk deck. We're going to try to annoy our opponents as much as possible by pumping their deck full of rocks. We are also trying to annoy them with the other activate of Omega Sentinel. If you can get 2 activations of afflicting the highest power enemy card with -7 power. Ideally, obviously, that's going to target 2 different cards, and this is one massive card. But yeah, getting 2 big cards reduced by -7 power is really, really good. And also, it's the return of an old friend, Black Widow. When was the last time you saw Black Widow being played? With Black Widow and Jocasta, if you play them obviously both together, you have the option to deny your opponent drawing cards on turn 5 and then on turn 6, because that's how it will probably work in this deck, which is obviously key. You're denying your opponent's draws is absolutely crucial, and of course, because it is Darkhawk, those cards will remain in their deck, so Darkhawk will stay nice and big. So yeah, just to run through the deck quickly. Korg, because obviously, yes, we want to pump rocks into our opponent's deck, plus it's Korg. I love this card. Spider-Ham, again, 2 activations of Spider-Ham, really, really useful, because obviously, yes, as long as you don't hit the first card that you've hit with Spider-Ham, the second time you activate it with Jocasta, getting 2 different targets hit with Spider-Ham, potentially game winning just doing that by itself. Because there's a lot of combo decks at the moment, so obviously getting the chance to disrupt that, really good with Spider-Ham. Grandmaster, because we have a few on-reveal cards in this deck, as you'll see, that actually you wouldn't mind playing them again, getting their on-reveal activation ability happening again. Very useful, and also for kind of moving power around the board, as you'll see. Domino, just because on turn 2, because we're trying to play this kind of priority type deck, playing Domino on turn 2 as every time that's what you're going to have is great, because 2/4 is great. That's a power that's above the average. You're pretty much guaranteed to be winning a lane if you play Domino into and your opponent plays another card there on turn 2, unless it's Agent Venom or the first Ghost Rider, if anyone even plays that card still. You're going to be winning that lane, because obviously the most usual power for kind of 2 power cards is 2 or 3. So Domino having that extra power in that lane should give you priority in that lane. Because then obviously what we want to be doing is playing cards like Cassandra Nova. And Cassandra Nova, yes, you can play her on turn 3. Ideally, if you do have Terrax, which is one of the next cards we'll come to, if you're playing Terrax on turn 3, and ideally with obviously if you've played a card on turn 1, you play Domino on turn 2, you can play Terrax on turn 3 to pump 2 or 3 rocks into your opponent's deck, and then you can drop Cassandra Nova on turn 4 for that kind of extra power that you wouldn't get by playing it on turn 3. So yeah, Cassandra Nova, obviously, very, very strong card, especially when you're trying to put rocks into your opponent's deck. Black Widow, like I said, yeah, I haven't seen this card for so long, but yeah, with Jocasta, I think this card can make a comeback, because obviously denying your opponents the ability to draw their cards and stop their combos, stop the getting their kind of final turn stuff that they want to do, you can stop that with Black Widow. And obviously you would need to have Black Widow to play on turn 3 or 4, ideally, in tandem with Jocasta, so that you can play the card, activate it, and then activate it again. So yeah, Black Widow I think could well make a comeback, which probably a lot of people might not be happy with. But yeah, I really like this card. I'm really glad it's back. Jocasta, again, so we've seen the cards that we want to activate. We need Jocasta on the board turns 3, 4 or 5, otherwise you're not going to get the ability by playing her on turn 6. So yes, get her in that lane, put her in the same lane as the cards that you have drawn that you can activate. If it's Spider-Ham, if it's Omega Sentinel, if it's Black Widow, they need to be in the same lane as Jocasta to get the most of her ability. And then Terrax, because yeah, like I said, if we're playing Domino, guaranteed 4 power on turn 2. Hopefully you've played a card on turn 1 as well. That should give you priority, that in turn 3, you can play Terrax, you have priority, you have the option to put 2 or 3 rocks into your opponent's deck and kind of maintain that curve that you're playing out. Yeah, Terrax, yeah, very strong for doing that. And then Omega Sentinel, obviously, yes, you really want to pair Omega Sentinel with Jocasta. That is a really good combination for like massive power reduction, and then it sets you up for what you want to do on turns 5 and 6, because you kind of have these finishers, as we'll come to next, that you have that are 5 cost and 6 cost that you want to play on turns 5 and 6. And yeah, Omega Sentinel reducing that power really sets you up for that. And Darkhawk, obviously, because we want to put rocks into your opponent's deck, we want to restrict them drawing cards with Black Widow. Darkhawk benefits from both of those synergies, and Darkhawk can be a really nice big power play, whether that's on turn 5 or 6. Cosmic Ghost Rider is actually really good for shutting down any tech that your opponent has that is on the board, that is an obvious kind of target. If they've played an Iron Man, let's say, on turn 5, and you have Cosmic Rider to drop on turn 6 because they're going to do Mr. Negative stuff, Cosmic Ghost Rider is really good to target that and try to shut it down and win that lane for you, as well as being, you know, Bullseye, Dracula, Morbius in discard decks, which are still going around at the moment as well. Even the end of turn stuff, if they've dropped Invisible Woman First Steps and you are able to target that before they can play a Prodigy or something on it, you can shut that down with Cosmic Ghost Rider. That's a really good target, because then it obviously restricts what they are trying to do if they're playing Jocasta as well. Yes, that is obviously an ideal target for Cosmic Ghost Rider. If you don't have Cosmic Ghost Rider, you can put Enchantress in this instead. I think that is an equivalent for if you're trying to shut down something that's ongoing, because there are a lot of ongoing cards that are still good in the meta at the moment. Enchantress will be a good suitable replacement for this. And then Alioth, because we're kind of running these cards every turn. We want to keep that momentum going, that power going. So by turn 6, we should have priority. And obviously if we've got a big Darkhawk in one lane, if we've shut down tech with Cosmic Ghost Rider in one lane, we've got Cassandra Nova on the board with power, we've got Terrax that has kind of put rocks into your opponent's decks. They're not going to be able to put down maybe what they want to on turn 6. Alioth, you play it in the right lane, you shut down anything that they can do with your priority, and you win the game. So yeah, this is a deck that is very frustrating to play against. We had a really good run with this, as you'll see, like a 69% win rate. Nice. But yeah, it just kind of flows quite nicely. You've got those options for turn 1. Yes, you're going to play Korg or Spider-Ham. Turn 2 is going to be Domino. Turn 3 is what have you got? Have you got Cassandra Nova, Black Widow, Jocasta, Terrax, and the other cards in your hand? What have you got that pairs well with those combos that we're trying to do? And then on turn 4, do you have Omega Sentinel? Do you have Cassandra Nova? Do you have Grandmaster to kind of activate Cassandra Nova? Again, move that power from an outside lane to an inside lane. Same with Terrax. Move Terrax outside to in. Try to get even more rock activations and put more rocks into your opponent's deck. That's what Grandmaster's here for, to kind of do on those turns. And then turn 5s and 6, like I say, you've got Darkhawk, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Alioth. You want to kind of mop up the rest of what they're doing. This is a very good deck. I've really enjoyed playing this, but yeah, your opponents will not enjoy playing against you with this deck. So yeah, this is the first deck we're going to play, and the second deck is equally annoying. So yes, our second deck is Juggermoto. This is a Scream deck. Scream decks are very annoying to play against, but with the secret sauce of having Agamotto in this deck. Let's go straight to Agamotto, because Agamotto as a 5'10 or a 5'13 body is actually very good in this deck as that kind of a base power card that you can play on turn 5 or 6 and force your opponent to deal with straight away. That's what we want to do. But the other good thing that of course Agamotto has are the spells. Temporal Manipulation, I think you probably want to play any chance you can, because yeah, having that 5'13 power in your hand that you can drop on turn 5 or 6, very useful. Winds of Tomb is the main obviously spell that we want to use with this deck. You know, it's 2 cost, afflicts an enemy card here with -5 power and move it right. Fits right into this deck. It kind of reduces being another body on the board for you as well. But yeah, Winds of Tomb, obviously we're pairing this with Scream, with Craven, with Batroc. As such a good spell to have, and it works really, really well in this deck. Now, Bolts of Balthak as well is really, really good, because if you play Bolts of Balthak, let's say you play this on turn 5, that means on turn 6 you have 10 energy. That means you can play Cannonball and Agamotto. That's Cannonball that can hopefully win one lane for you, and Agamotto that's hopefully going to be 13 power in another lane that can win it for you. But as well, as we'll see with the rest of the deck, there's lots of other little kind of combos that you can do, and having that +4 energy at any point in the game really is going to be really beneficial to you. So Bolts of Balthak is really, really good in this deck. Images of Icon, not as much, but there are opportunities to play it. If you have Agamotto on board and you have other cards that you've kind of used up already, Images, let's turn those cards into big cards and let's try to win another lane. That's absolutely fine. Also, what you can do is, if you've played, say, Cannonball or Stegron, those are good cards to have more copies of, because they will move more cards away. And obviously, if you're moving cards, you've got the chance to steal power from them, reduce their power, and that's just a kind of a really good combo to have. So if you have Images of Icon in your hand, you can consider very much kind of where you're playing your cards. If you play Stegron into a lane where there's another card that you can get a benefit of turning that card into Stegron. Same with Cannonball, if you play Cannonball on turn 5. Yeah, it's an option to have. It's not the strongest spell, but it's a very, very good one to have. And then, yeah, the rest of the deck. Obviously, we have cards that we want to move our opponent's cards around as much as possible. What this deck is really good at is having kind of good power, enough power per cost of card. What I mean by that is, obviously, you've got Batroc the Leaper. It's a 1/2. When a card moves, follow it to gain +2 power. You're going to be moving this card. If you play it on turn 1, you should be moving this card a few times during the game. Even if it moves one time, that's 1/4. That is above base power, average power for a 1-cost card. But because you want to do it multiple times, it goes to, say, a 1/6. That's ideal. That's more than enough power for a 1-cost card. That is enough power. Hydra Bob, again, it's a 1/4, but it can move. This is obviously, you want to play this if you've got kind of Craven on board, or if there are kind of locations you want to kind of snap into. If the cards you have drawn that are moving cards are maybe not favourable to that location. So like if the left location you can't get into, and you've got Stegron that's moving cards to the right, you can maybe play Hydra Bob and try to snap it left. You can fill a lane to kind of force it, in some instances, into the lane you want it to go into. And of course, if it moves, it's Craven, that's more power across the board as well. So that is equivalent of having more power than a 1-cost card. Scream, obviously, yeah, very, very key. If you get Scream on turn 2, play Scream. This is the most important card in the deck, and very, very good card, very strong. And obviously, with all the cards you're moving, Scream can get enough power, because it's a 2-cost card. You can get Scream to be 7 power, but obviously it's taken that power away from other cards in play, so its equivalent power is much more than that. Scream, very, very strong card. And then we've got Craven. Obviously, yes, we're trying to move your cards and your opponent's cards around. Lots of opportunities for Craven to get big and get that enough power that we're talking about. Craven, yeah, really, really good. I'd really like a better variant for this card as well, and probably a better effect. But yeah, very useful to have Craven in this deck, especially as well because there is a lot of move around in the meta at the moment as well. People are playing Move Tribunal. Put Craven down, you will get equivalent from those moves as well. Very useful to have. And Spider-Man, this is a variant I really like, and a border works really nicely. But yeah, Spider-Man obviously played early, played late. Spider-Man can be really good. Spider-Man can move big targets to win a lane. Obviously you ideally want to move your Spider-Man into a lane where there is Craven, Scream, kind of move them in, get big power, and then you can move cards out of that lane with other cards. But yeah, Spider-Man, really, really good card in this deck. And then Rocket Raccoon and Groot, another card we probably haven't seen a lot of in a long time. But obviously what you want to do with Rocket Raccoon and Groot, you play it, and it kind of makes your opponent think, okay, I want to avoid playing cards into that lane because I'm going to lose power and that card's going to get bigger and bigger. So I might have to play elsewhere. But obviously, if then they are then playing their cards elsewhere, you can then move those cards. You have the options that you have with Stegron, Spider-Man, all these different cards that you can do. And Rocket Raccoon and Groot, if it's played in the right location, can still get nice and big, and then you can move it to a location that can win you the game. So yeah, not as key as the other cards in this deck, but I really like having this card in this deck. Polaris, great card in this deck. Obviously it's moving 1 or 2 cost and hopefully reducing that power or getting that extra power into the Craven lane, and it's a 3/5. That's really good power. Yes, you're going to be moving the card in to that lane, but obviously if you've got Scream on the board, that power is not really going to be matter because Screams will be taking that power for themselves. Yeah, Polaris, really, really good. And then Juggernaut, again, Juggernaut on turn 6 is game winning in the right lanes, isn't it? And obviously it's moving cards away, whether they are kind of, if they're unrevealed, obviously they're not going to get any effects of it, but Craven will get effects from moving cards into that lane, but Scream won't. So if you don't have priority and you have Juggernaut, that might be something to consider if you have Scream in play. But yeah, Juggernaut is still a very good card at 4 cost. It is a game winning card, and it works really well with this deck. And then Miles Morales, Spider-Man, again, it's obviously you're moving cards pretty much every turn after maybe turn 2, and yeah, obviously having that equivalent of a 1/6 enough power. This is what we're talking about, having 1/6 that you can put on the board. It's a demon, right? And we know how good demons are. So yeah, obviously having Miles Morales, very good in this deck. Stegron, I love Stegron. It's a really good card. 4/7 is a lot of power. If you're moving that power into a different lane from your opponent, obviously it's more than 4/7. It's that equivalent power that we're talking about. So it goes from a 4/7 to whatever the other power is of the card that you've moved. And if that's a big enough card, that gives you a really good opportunity to win that lane. So yeah, Stegron, very, very key in this deck. And Cannibal, obviously we're not playing Mercury in this deck because we do want the kind of flexibility to be able to move opponents' cards around. But obviously you play Cannonball into a lane that you might have thought you've been losing, but Cannonball suddenly gives you opportunities to win that lane, especially on turn 6. If your opponent's playing decks where they're filling a lot of their locations, Cannonball can not only move or destroy something. That's really useful. So yeah, Cannonball, very, very useful. And yeah, back to Agamotto, that kind of base power that you can put in this deck that is a 5/13. There aren't 5/13s in this game. You have Red Skull that gives your opponent, that gives you extra power on those cards in that lane. It's a 5/13 if you can get it. Even 5/10. 5/10 is kind of above base rate, because if you think of the other 5/10s that have any kind of ability linked to them, like a Black Panther has to double to get to be a 5/10. Abomination is a 5/9, my kind of standard. That's the kind of limit of the usual kind of average 5 cost cards. So Agamotto, even at 5/10, a very good card in this deck. And yeah, like you see, we have a really good win rate with this deck. 16 out of 20 games that we won. And yeah, there's a lot of games that we've played where you think your opponent will be very, very frustrated playing against this deck. So yes, please check out these gameplay highlights. Hope you enjoy them. Got some really fun games here for you. If you have found this video through Snap Judgments, please let me know, because our first deck, the Jocasta one, is being featured on today's video. So if you have watched that video and you've come to this channel through there, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to say hello, and kind of, yeah, take a look at the other videos that we've got on the channel. Try to bring you as many decks as I can each week, kind of fun, competitive decks, but yeah, try to bring something kind of off meta to you as much as I can. So yeah, enjoy these gameplay highlights. Thanks for watching and good luck. Cheers. Okay, cool. Omega Sentinel, Cassandra Nova, and Spider-Ham, very good. Especially because we have Spider-Ham and Domino, so we can obviously get the draw. Obviously they're probably going to get it as well. It's Black Cats, so this could be the end of turn deck. Which means if we can get maybe a Alioth or Cosmic Ghost Rider, they could be really useful. So yeah, let's definitely activate Spider-Ham now. Let's go straight to Domino. It's hit Doom 2099. That's an incredible hit. Very good. Now, what we have to think is, are we better off doing Terrax now into, yeah, Terrax now. Right, I'm going to play into Cassandra Nova and Korg mid, because that should be decent power. It's Mr. Fantastic, Pedro Fantastic himself. So yeah, let's do this. And then, yeah, obviously if we can now draw Darkhawk, that'd be really good. If not, yeah, like I said, we've got 3 big cards in the deck and Grandmaster. So if we needed to, and we pulled Grandmaster, we could move the Terrax into mid. But Cassandra Nova will go to 8. Plus we've got Korg, so that's 10 power putting mid. They haven't played anything mid. Okay.
Hey, you found a rock.
It's Human Torch for the steps, so we are probably better off aiming for the right lane now. So what we're going to do instead, we have Cosmic Ghost Rider. The only problem with it is we don't really have a great target for it. So what we are going to do instead then, Omega Sentinel is probably going to target the Black Cat. So yeah, I think we do have to go with Omega Sentinel. Because yeah, obviously Cosmic Ghost Rider doesn't have that specific target for us to hit. But obviously if we can now draw Darkhawk, I've played a Makari, interesting. And it's Alioth, so actually yeah, all we're going to do then is activate Omega Sentinel. It's going to hit Black Cat, but we're not too fussed about that because we are just going to drop an Alioth right, and this should be enough. It should be enough. Anytime now. Yep, and I have played a card right. And it is Dr. Doom. Shut that right down, mate. Ham, egg, and chips. All 3 lanes, mate. Let's go. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. This is a non-Darkhawk run that we had. Cosmic Ghost Rider didn't have those targets. But because we could maintain that priority with the cards that we had, worked really well. So yeah, really good game with this deck. Cool. Okay, so Darkhawk, Korg, and Grandmaster. He bumps Tarnax. Interesting. So yeah, Korg. Let's make Korg right, just in case we have to Grandmaster.
Hey, you found a rock.
Which we don't mind at all, really. To get in extra rocks, not a problem. Atlantis.
Always lucky.
We don't have anything else at the moment, so I think we're going to Domino right, and then we'll Grandmaster if there's nothing else. They are playing into Tarnax, which is Havoc, and getting rid of the Havoc, turning into Angela. Okay. That's going to move cards one location to the right. We don't have any activates. I mean, it does mean we've got a good chance of pulling one next turn. We've got 3 activate cards still in deck. We've got a 50% chance of pulling one, basically. Let's drop Jocasta. Obviously, he's going to move all our cards into Bifrost. Unless we just Terrax now, because Terrax will have priority and it will get 3 rocks into their deck and then turn into something else. Let's do that. Happy with that? It be. It's a Lunar Snow. Interesting. Okay, so it was a Havoc Scarlet Spider, so they're going to look to activate stuff, aren't they? Black Cat's gone for them as well, that's cool. So we do have 6 energy. We do we do have Cosmic Ghost Rider that can at least shut down this Scarlet Spider. The question is, do we do it now or do we do it next turn? Because if they are going to drop something like Jocasta themselves to get multiple Scarlet Spiders, we can hold off and we can play this next turn, because we're definitely going to get priority, in theory, with Darkhawk. Let's do it this way. Let's hold off on the Cosmic Ghost Rider for now and hope they don't activate this early. Obviously they can play cards into Angela as well, so they can get extra power there, but it's not really going to be a lot. Okay, they get a rock that becomes Titania to Omega Sentinel, which is going to hit Darkhawk. So yeah, it's the real question. I think we stick with Cosmic Ghost Rider. We play Grandmaster left, because Grandmaster will turn into something else and give us Titania. They might play something else to get Titania back, but we should probably be pretty good in these other lanes. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, they've only played mid and right. Shuts down the thing. Titania comes over. Oh, it's Spider-Man. Okay. We still win because Titania comes over. Yeah, thing is going to destroy something, but we are too big all over. Get the ice cube, go on. Yeah! Hamburg and chips again. Brilliant. Yeah, 3 lanes, and this was against the end of turn stuff. Activate stuff that we are obviously very good. This is what Cosmic Ghost Rider is in this deck for, because you have those good targets you can stop. Like on this occasion it was Scarlet Spider, but like if they would have played Athena earlier, if they would have played a kind of Omega Sentinel into a location where it's one of the front 2 cards in that row, Cosmic Ghost Rider is great for that, just shutting stuff down. So yeah, another good win. So annoyed I just had a really good win against a destroy deck, but the video didn't record it properly, so I did not win it. That's a shame. So, Rocket Pad. Yeah, let's play Call right.
I found a rock.
Okay, we've got Domino, we've got Cassandra Nova, we've got Black Widow, that's not too bad. Pit of Exile.
What are the odds?
Okay. So this is probably Surfer. What the hell? I've not seen this before. This must be a new location. Sure. Add a random activate card here for each player. Now, because we have Jocasta, this all of a sudden becomes really interesting. Wow, yeah, this location did not see this coming. So yeah, let's definitely drop Cassandra Nova, because then we can play Black Widow and Jocasta into this lane with Scarlet Spider. That seems like it would work. What do we need to play first? Jocasta first. Yeah, so we can activate Black Widow next turn. It'd work the same way, by the way, but yeah. We might as well do Scarlet Spider now as well, because you can reactivate cards after they've been activated. Where's this spider going? If it goes left, obviously that's a lot of power. It does. It's great. We're up to 19 power left. And we have a life, and we have Darkhawk as well. We do have Cassandra Nova that we could potentially move mid as well. Interesting. It gives us another spot left if we need it. It's fantastic. So yeah, they're going to be doing Surfer stuff. They can't draw a Surfer. And we force the Scarlet Spider to go mid. And Cassandra Nova goes mid as well. That's cool. So we're not winning right. Not a problem. But they've got to find a way to win mid when all we're going to do is alive. We might as well activate the Black Widow as well. Why not? done its job. Still got 5 cards in deck, 4 cards in hand. So obviously if you've stopped from drawing a Surfer or a Brood or something like that, that's pretty good. It's Galacta. And it's Captain Carter. All, yeah, very good. Very good. Yeah, obviously getting those activations from, I don't even know how you say this, but yeah, that worked really well for us. Obviously, I didn't know that this location was here. I didn't know this was a thing at the moment. But yeah, obviously we can take advantage of that with Jocasta and the other cards that we've got. So yeah, that played out quite nicely. Okay, so Korg, Cassandra Nova, and Cosmic Ghost Rider to start, plus a Ninja. Thanks for that, guys. A standard deck, Cassandra Nova. Obviously, you're playing against Arisham, Kang, Thanos, Agamotto, all this stuff. Cassandra Nova gets more effect from that. Let's play Domino left. Vormir, interested. We might need to work around that, so it's Lasher, so we need to try to shut this down. Cosmic Ghost Rider will be good for that as well. We don't have any activates at the moment, so what we really need to do, this could be C2, this could just be like a buff deck, Lasher, so I think if we can shut it down on turn 5, that's going to be really useful to us. I think it's Cassandra Nova left. They are playing into Vormir, okay. It's rock. Of course, give them a rock. That's one thing they can do with it. It's awesome Andes. This isn't necessarily C2. This is a pump deck, isn't it? So yeah, if we can Jocasta now, try to get priority. Depends what they're going to do. Is this going to be like Nomura stuff? It's got a spider. Right, they haven't activated, but yeah, obviously if they activate Automatically now and then activate these, that's going to be bad for us. But if we shut it down, we might get away with it. We're still 11 power ahead left, and we haven't played Vormir, so they might still just try to play for mid and right. Jocasta doesn't have any good activations at the moment, so we're just going to leave her, but we do have Darkhawk, we do have Alioth. Let's see what they do. They do play 2 cards right, so it's Herbie and Jocasta. Cosmic Ghost Rider shuts down Scarlet Spider and Lasher, and they filled their location. Brilliant. Awesome Andy can still give them power, but they're gone, man. That was perfect. Again, Cosmic Ghost Rider really showing what it can do, because there are so many cards at the moment that are being front row. Cosmic Ghost Rider is great in this deck. Obviously, yes, like if you don't have Cosmic Ghost Rider, possibly Enchantress, but Enchantress doesn't do what this card does. This card is really good, and I really recommend getting it. And another ham, egg, and chips. So yeah, cool. Okay, cool. We're playing Juggermoto. So we have Miles Morales, Craven, and Bolts to start. Very good. This is this new feature location here. It's Kid Omega. Probably not great for us, but at least it's a card. They got King Eitri. Sure, why not? So we've got Temporal Manipulation, we have Craven, we have Scream, we have Spider-Man, so we can start moving stuff around. And we can possibly start flogging the mid, potentially. Scream left. Domino, okay. This will be Wiccan. Let's see what kind of Wiccan it is. Camelot. Okay. What we will do this turn is Polaris mid, because that will pull one of these cards here. I mean, they're possibly playing into Camelot. If they have low cards, it's Lunar Snow. What Polaris can pull? King Eitri. So we don't really want it to move the Ice Cube, because then that will just get destroyed with its minus power when it's filled. But yeah, Polaris, we don't mind that at all. So now we have 5 energy thanks to Lunar Snow. Raven, Winds of Autumn, Miles Morales. Sure. It's Wiccan, okay. They have hit their Wiccan curve, good for them. Jim Hammond, that card exists. Again, we've hit the Lunar Snow, excellent. Scream hits, Craven gets buffed. 6 power mid for Miles Morales. Already we're up to 16 power there. Then we have 2 turns left. So what can we do? Because we have priority, what we can do is we play Rocket and Raccoon here because they might throw mid. They're probably thinking they're not going to win it, and that's absolutely fine. And Temporal Manipulation is going to give us Agamotto as well. So we're going to Spider-Man one of these cards out. It will go mid. We don't really need to do anything with Kid Omega, so I'm just going to leave it for now.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
So yeah, they're blocked mid. Can't do anything there anyway. Scream will get a nice buff from this. Rocket and Raccoon will hit something here. Actually, what we could do with Kid Omega is use it to get the Agamotto power in that lane. Would we need to? Because it's She-Hulk. Interesting. So the Ice Cube will go as well. What do we have? We have a Juggernaut. Thanks very much, guys. It's a turn 6 snap. I'm not going to do it, but yeah, obviously we are going to Juggernaut card out of this lane and win. Thank you very much. Juggernaut's such a good card, especially in this deck. Didn't play anything. Didn't play anything. They're kind of hoping it's going to be enough. Yeah, Juggernaut wins that anyway. Yeah, cool. Yeah, they're relying on 4 power to be enough there. Wouldn't have been enough for them at all. Agamotto for the record. Obviously, yeah, they've put a lot of power there with what they've got. But yeah, locking this lane down, getting really good power here. And Juggernaut, Scream getting 7 power. Probably Rocket Raccoon Group, probably. Okay, they're not going to bet any cards here because there's no point. We've got enough power here. They just played all their cards right. Hope for the best. But yeah, this deck worked really well. Okay, Cannonball, Batroc, and Polaris. Haven't got to play Batroc yet, so that's pretty good. The Raft. If we play our cards right, we can stop them from filling the raft. That probably means we might not fill it either. Let's see what we can get. Polaris will obviously pull the hood or something out. Sacred Timeline is going to be interesting as well. So we can't play this turn, but we can play Polaris next turn, which I think we definitely should. Although if they do now play obviously 2 cards, it will fill before we pull something, which they will be able to do. We do have priority. They're definitely playing 2 cards here, right? So we Rocket Raccoon and Group. Hopefully it's not the Acid Arrow. Yeah, you think even if it's the 2 arrows, getting that free 6-cost card is still worth doing, especially with Throne Room. That's pretty good. Yeah, they've definitely they filled it. That's fine. Rocket Raccoon Group will get a bit of power from here. So it's Titania and Grapple Arrow. That's interesting because Titania moves over. Ah, okay. And a Demon mid, which then moves over. So we are actually fine because we have 1 left. Obviously, we now have to contend with whatever they are going to do now. Cannonball is actually going to be really good here. So we do have to be careful of moving, actually, because Batroc will move out. So we need to be a little bit careful. Unless This might be a game where Images of Icon actually is the card to play, because this will stop Batroc from moving out. It will become Titania or Rocket Raccoon and Groot. That's absolutely fine. This will maintain this lane for us. And we have Cannonball, we have Juggernaut, so there are still things we can do to win these other lanes. So it is Titania, that's absolutely fine. It's Green Goblin. Is this going to be Galactus? Is this going to be Galactus? Yeah, potentially. So Juggernaut into Temporal Manipulation. It's Rhino. It's Viper. Okay, so it's not Juggernaut. We did feel though, so we did get the copy, and we still have a space because of Temporal Manipulation saving that for us. So I am still worried about Galactus. Like, we could play Agamotto right to Throne Room, and that would be absolutely fine. We just play Agamotto right, and we just play Batroc here. Not a problem, should be fine, he says. But yeah, obviously, yeah, they're trying to do something to us. But 14 power here should still be enough. Because we have priority, obviously, we can't play Cannonball, doesn't do anything, Stegron's the same. But yeah, this is where that big body of Agamotto is really good. These decks don't usually have tons of power with Clog. They're just trying to clog and win those lanes with they've got, and they're retreated here. So yeah, cool. Great game for Images of Icon. We didn't really move that, well, we didn't, sorry, we did, because Juggernaut moved stuff from middle to right. So Images of Icon turning Batroc into Titania's, not a problem. Really, really good. So yeah, this was a very good win. Well, we are against, it's either VV the Duke or W the Duke. I've played against this person quite a few times. Oh, Strange Academy. Very, very good for us. And being Agamotto, they might not immediately think that we're a move deck, so they might play some cards into there. But let's see, we could even move. Mindscape is not great for us, and that does force us to play Agamotto turn 5, which isn't really a problem because it's a big card. Let's move this Bast. This is going to be C3, isn't it, as well? If we can move it into Strange Academy. No, it's Surge. Surge doesn't really go for C3. This could be maybe just an Agent Venom deck. Mild goes to 1. Okay, so Scarlet Spider for us and Lockjaw for them. Yes, thank you very much. We will do that. Yeah, we will absolutely do wins into Miles Morales. That's really good. We still have Rocket Raccoon and Groot we can drop next turn. We have a Scarlet Spider activation that we can do. Potentially can clog them as well with Polaris. Nico becomes Pixie. Okay, so they are getting a Pixie hit, so we might need to clog them now with Polaris. No, we don't need to because it's Order of Death. Cool. This is looking really good. What we want to do. So Spider-Man is going to move. So we don't have Scream, we don't have Raven. We don't have Batroc out either. We do. Opponent snap him. Interesting. Interesting. We still aren't going to swap our cards either. It's good. What do we do? We save Juggernaut, absolutely. I think we just Rocket Raccoon and Groot. And we try to strip some power away from what they're playing, which is Agent Venom. Love Agent Venom. Love Agent Venom decks. Really, really good. It's Boar. Okay, so we have now lost priority. Not the worst thing in the world. I think we play Craven. Polaris is going to move something. We could do this. We could play Craven here. Polaris will pull something here. They might try to play cards here to fill so that Gore goes mid. And then our cards are going to move. Obviously, we want Craven to get quite big here. We have Agamotto, we have Juggernaut still. Let's do this. They have played 2 cards there still, so it's a Mystique onto the Gore. So we now might need Cannonball. We have Juggernaut, but obviously they are looking good, and it's going to move to Polaris. Didn't move anything because they filled. What's going where? Okay. They have priority. If we do get Cannonball, though, we are set because we can play Rocket Raccoon and Groot. We can move that mid. We can't Juggernaut, that's the thing. So what we are needing to happen, we are winning right. So we should, no, because they've got Gore still, haven't they, and on reveals. So it depends what they play. So 6 or next to 17, so we need, we might need this card Spider to go mid, we might need it to go left. Depends what on reveals they can play. I've only got 2 cards in their hand. Let's see what they play, how many cards they can play. It's only 1, which is Sage. Okay. Agamotto, Start Spider goes left, and we win the tiebreak. Cool, yeah, if it would have gone mid, we would have won that fine. So yeah, 4 cubes for that one. Oh yeah, I'll play this guy a bit, so I'll give him a fist bump for that one. But yeah, Agent Venom deck, I haven't played against one of them in a little while. I really like those decks. But yeah, this one went really well. Okay, we are playing Agamotto, Polaris, and Miles Morales. +2 energy, +1 energy is only good if we can get a Scream or a Craven, and we don't really get Cannonball. So, obviously with this deck we do want to get kind of cards on the board early, and it's Galactus first steps as well. It's not particularly great for us. Daily Bugle, okay, so they are going to get Agamotto, Polaris, Miles, which means we now have a Galactus first steps as well. Does this work? Because it's a copy, isn't it? So this one will see Craven as its herald. That should work, right? Yeah. Okay, so we can move stuff around. So yeah, we can Craven, and we'll move Domino and Quicksilver over. If we move the Quicksilver, that would be great. Winter for 2 as well. Okay, cool. This game has suddenly started picking up. Silver Surfer. It moves the Quicksilver. Cool. So we stop them from gaining any more power. And we have Galactus. Lovely. So ours is now at 18 power. We can Winds of a Tomb, Miles and Bob. We'll play Bob left, because if we do need to snap it, we can potentially snap it into the Craven lane. Yeah, it's also... Yeah, obviously they're looking to play something on reveal here. This could affect them for their Silver Surfer first steps too. So we're going to move something out. He's Wiccan. I don't think they had the Wiccan Curve, did they? Nope. Okay. So... -3 there, so they're probably likely to play something there. And then we're going to retreat. I say, yeah. We probably would have played Cannonball mid, because it's 5 or 6 power. Getting that out of the lane, but getting that 6 power Cannonball in. We go to 16, they go to 5 or 6. And then we've got a Galaxus we can drop final turn. We've got an Agamotto we can drop if we didn't have that. Images of Icon could be Polaris, something like that. Or actually Kraven, that probably might not have been enough, so it would have been Cannonball or Galactus or Agamotto. But yeah, again, a good deck to play against, because especially if they're trying to put certain cards that are the heralds down and we can move them around, we can affect what power they're putting in that lane. We can move to -3 power to really mess them up. Yeah, really, really good.